The most dangerous answer is not always the one that sounds wrong. Sometimes the most dangerous answer is the one that sounds perfect, clear words, strong confidence, smooth explanation, no hesitation, and still it may be false. In the age of artificial intelligence, this is one of the biggest problems we face. Richard Feynman gave the world a warning that feels painfully modern. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Today, that warning does not only apply to scientists. It applies to anyone using AI, search engines, social media, or online explanations. For most of history, bad information was often easy to recognize. It looked suspicious, sounded strange, or came from an unreliable person. But now, false information can arrive with perfect grammar, calm confidence, and professional formatting. The problem is no longer only ignorance. The problem is false certainty. An AI hallucination happens when a system produces an answer that sounds believable but is not actually true. It may invent a fact, confuse a source, create a fake citation, or connect ideas incorrectly. The danger is not only the error. The danger is that the error sounds intelligent. When an answer is written clearly, your brain relaxes. It feels organized. It feels complete. It feels like someone has already done the thinking for you. But Feynman would remind us that the feeling of understanding is not the same as understanding itself. A smooth explanation can still hide a broken foundation. Imagine Feynman standing at a blackboard. He reads an AI answer and asks one question. Can we rebuild this from first principles? Not repeat it. Not admire it, not share it, rebuild it. What is the evidence? What is assumed? What can be tested? What would prove it wrong? Confidence is a performance. Evidence is a connection to reality. A person can be confident and wrong. A machine can be fluent and wrong. A viral post can be polished and wrong. Feynman's method cuts through all of this by asking, how do we know? AI gives answers quickly. That is useful, but speed can create intellectual laziness. When answers arrive instantly, the mind may stop struggling. It may stop checking. It may stop building its own explanation. But real understanding often requires friction, delay, doubt, and correction. Feynman understood that reality does not care how convincing an explanation sounds. A bridge either stands or fails. A medicine either works or does not. A prediction either matches the measurement or it doesn't. Nature cannot be persuaded by style. It only responds to truth. AI can make an answer feel complete by filling every gap with language. But language can cover uncertainty. It can make missing evidence look like explanation. It can turn guesses into paragraphs. The result is dangerous because the mind sees fullness and mistakes it for accuracy. The most powerful question is simple. What would make this answer wrong? If you cannot imagine what would disprove it, you are not thinking scientifically. You are only accepting. Feynman's way of thinking forces every idea to face the possibility of failure. Smart people are not immune to AI hallucinations. In some ways, they may be more vulnerable. If an answer fits what they already believe, they may accept it faster. Intelligence can become a tool for defending mistakes. That is why honesty matters more than cleverness. An AI answer may use familiar scientific words: quantum, neural, evidence, mechanism, probability, causation, analysis. These words feel serious. But serious words do not guarantee serious thinking. Feynman warned against knowing the name of something without understanding what is actually happening. You can name a concept and still not understand it. You can repeat a definition and still be confused. You can quote an expert and still miss the point. Real explanation shows the mechanism. It shows how one thing causes another. It shows where the idea begins and where it breaks. AI hallucinations spread because they're easy to copy. One false answer becomes a post. The post becomes a video. The video becomes a thread. The thread becomes a belief. Soon, people are no longer checking the original claim. They are only repeating the echo. When many sources repeat the same false claim, the brain begins to trust it. Repetition feels like confirmation, but repetition is not proof. Feynman would ask whether the idea has been tested against reality, not whether it has appeared many times on the internet. A fake citation can be more dangerous than no citation at all. It gives false authority to a weak claim. It makes the answer look verified. But a citation is only useful if it exists, says what the answer claims, and comes from a trustworthy source. AI hallucinations are not only a machine problem, they reveal a human weakness. We like answers that save effort. We like certainty. We like explanations that confirm what we already think. AI did not create this weakness. It made it faster, smoother, and easier to scale. Feynman believed in a deeper kind of honesty, not just honesty toward other people, but honesty toward yourself. You must report what the evidence says, even when it ruins your idea. You must admit uncertainty, even when confidence would sound better. An AI answer should be treated as a starting point, not a final authority. It can help you brainstorm, organize, simplify, and explore. But when accuracy matters, you must verify. The more important the decision, the more dangerous blind trust becomes. Before trusting an AI answer, apply 3 checks. First, source check. Where does this claim come from? Second, logic check. Does the reasoning follow? Third, reality check. Can this be compared with evidence, measurement, or expert documentation? The source check asks whether the claim is grounded in something real. Is there a primary source? A textbook? A research paper? An official standard? A measured result? If the answer cannot point back to reality, it may only be language floating above nothing. The logic check asks whether each step actually follows. Does a conclusion come from the evidence? Are there hidden assumptions? Are 2 unrelated facts being forced together? A fluent answer can still have weak reasoning. Feynman would slow it down until every step became visible. The reality check asks whether the answer survives contact with the world. Can it predict something? Can it be measured? Can it be tested? Can another person repeat it? Scientific thinking begins when an idea stops living only in words and starts facing reality. Doubt is not the enemy of knowledge. Doubt protects knowledge from becoming fantasy. A doubtful mind does not reject everything. It checks everything. It asks for evidence. It separates confidence from truth. This is not negativity. This is mental discipline. Sometimes a wrong answer is harmless, but sometimes it matters. A wrong medical claim, legal claim, financial claim, engineering claim, or scientific claim can cause real damage. That is why Feynman's standard is so important. The more serious the consequence, the stronger the verification must be. AI can imitate the appearance of expertise. It can use professional tone, structured paragraphs, technical vocabulary, and confident conclusions. But expertise is not appearance. Expertise is tested judgment, domain knowledge, correction, experience, and accountability. The danger is not that AI thinks. The danger is that humans stop thinking. If we outsource every question, every explanation, and every judgment, our own reasoning becomes weaker. Tools should extend the mind, not replace the habit of thinking. The Feynman method is one of the best defenses against false understanding. Choose an idea. Explain it simply. Identify the gaps. Go back to the source. Explain it again. If an AI answer cannot survive this process, it was never truly understood. Simple explanation is powerful because it removes hiding places. If the idea depends on vague words, it becomes visible. If the reasoning skips steps, the gap appears. If the answer only sounds smart, simplicity exposes it. That is why clear thinking can be brutal. Artificial intelligence should not make us less skeptical. It should make us more careful. When information becomes easier to produce, verification becomes more valuable. When answers become faster, patience becomes more important. When language becomes smoother, evidence becomes the anchor. The new skill is not only finding information, it is judging information. Can you tell the difference between a real explanation and a polished guess? Can you separate evidence from confidence? Can you slow down when an answer feels too easy? What sounds right is not a reliable test. Many wrong ideas sound right when they match your expectations. Many true ideas feel strange when they challenge your assumptions. Feynman's thinking does not ask whether an idea feels comfortable. It asks whether the idea survives testing. AI is powerful, but it should not be worshipped. It is a tool, not an oracle. It can help, but it can also mislead. The wise user does not reject the tool. The wise user understands the tool's limits and uses it with disciplined judgment. Every generation has a responsibility to protect truth. In our generation, that means learning how to live with machines that can generate convincing answers. We must become better questioners, better checkers, better explainers, better thinkers. Before trusting an answer, take 1 minute. Ask, what is the claim? What is the evidence? What is missing? What assumption is being made? What source will confirm it? That single minute can save you from believing something that only looked like knowledge. Feynman's philosophy always returns to reality, not reputation, not authority, not style, not speed. Reality, the experiment, the measurement, the source, the result, the thing that still exists after opinion, confidence, and performance disappear. If students use AI only to get answers, they may pass assignments and lose understanding. But if they use AI to question, test, simplify, and verify, they can learn better. The difference is not the tool. The difference is the discipline of the mind using it. The future will not only belong to people who have access to AI. Almost everyone will have access. The future will belong to people who can judge answers, detect weak reasoning, verify claims, and explain ideas clearly. In other words, people who refuse to fool themselves. So the next time an answer appears instantly, do not ask only whether it sounds intelligent. Ask whether it is true. Ask how we know. Ask what would prove it wrong. Ask whether you can explain it yourself. Because in the age of artificial intelligence, Feynman's warning matters more than ever. Do not fool yourself.